Master, it has been 3,782 years since your last log. What tasks would you have begun undertaking? Aside from the subjects below, there is no other sentient being within the facility. I will check for tampering since by the time of hibernation. Centurion. Original structure remains unmolested. Microserving automaton. Original structure remains unmolested. Interplane gate platform. Warning gate compromised during hibernation. Warning breach occurred 5 neuron cycles prior to current events. Gate mechanics for the portal can only be operated by self-aware biologicals. Relayed arcane footage from Centurion. Biological possessed black item discerning items function and agent's agenda item seems to be worn on the hand. Agent's motive is unknown. Extremely hazardous materials will be encountered through your expedition into subject realm number 137. Are you sure you want to continue? As you wish, Ma Master. Power needs to be supplied toward gate platform for operation. If you find energy director below, but beware of subjects.
So, what's inside? Oh, you're gonna get out now. The bodies might have some valuable things, so. That wasn't funny. Prepare to die. You have my back, and I'll have yours. Good night. Sexy necromancer. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Steam has reached all nodes. Sufficient charge for gate aperture. Needs activation at local system relay. All systems are primed for your traversal to subject Round 137. Activate the gate through a company device. May the gods clear the march of enlightenment.
humans engage and grant me freedom. The Liberator wants a name, a moniker for this transient fool. Well, you can call me ambition. I am what I feel, like any man. I am compelled, Liberator. Pulled towards my once with great force, a desire converged upon my gods, lords, and men. That want is power, and the corpse king, rotting atop his spire, needs a prince. And who better to take up that venerated role than ambition? Palpable, proximal, personal. It is now possible. From this hideous pit emerges royalty who awaits his throne. Yes, strip away the artifice and cast away pretension. Forgive my joy, Liberator, becoming aware of a destiny rewritten has made me giddy. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Take in the child yet conceived behind. It gestates in the wanting. The very jorrins which bore me. Liberator, I wish you would kill this child and remove the final hurdle to my rise. Yet every harm directed is rendered hollow, aren't they, mother? You covet your child with such fervor. The child is already named. Would you believe that, Liberator? She has called it Whisper. If we could only inflict death to the dead, to ameliorate that contradiction would cease my struggle. Yet it cannot be. However, there's another who will be the source of your malice. An anchor to ambition, a bank of remembering, the husk. If you see this husk, this frail, pathetic thing, kill it. Bring it low, tear it to pieces, and hunt the remaining scintilla of its vessel. And I will be free, truly free. Your every inflection will be heard from here to the dying light. Your image burned for my future dreams. We will meet again, Liberator, and I will be pleased to see you. The worm will conquer the mountain, as they say. Everything that is ugly, everything that is weak, will all be burned away. And you will join me in this growth. Where I had gone from scum to royalty, you will go from nomad to nobility. Then you and I will destroy the Dark Mother together. Goodness and beauty will prevail. Farewell, intrepid friend. May we divulge on the last axiom when our paths cross again.
Come for aid. Did you find our elusive thief? Daedra, within a Dwemer ruin. Unheard of. How did you manage to find yourself within such a terrible place? So you assumed that the gauntlets must have left through that gate? I see. The presence of these gauntlets within such a remote ruin should have been reason enough to amplify concern. Yet now Daedra had been brought into the fold. Are we but unwitting pawns in some grander scheme? I'll have to ruminate on these revelations later, and you should rest. Couldn't imagine what a journey to that untamed north entailed. Thank you, friend. It's rare for a helping hand to go further than one needs to. You most likely came across remnants of Durrani civilization, a wonder to modern architects and labourers alike that their structures still hold after all these years. Even the marble still shines, not having succumbed to the ruinous elements that erode our walls every so often. How did it feel? Was the air strangely fresh? How bizarre. That's not characteristic of the Durrani at all. Wait, yes. Not Durrani at all, but Ayleid. The Ayleid embassy built by those Durrani all those millennia ago. You've heard of the Elysian Empire, surely, and their revolt against the Ayleids of Old Cyrodiil, ages before the Empire came to be. Then I needn't bore you with yet another recital. That slave revolt, having swept over large swathes of Cyrodiil, had then turned their gaze west to the Durrani hegemony, now High Rock. Desperate and engulfed in panic, the Durrani pulled whoever they could from what remained of the Ayleid, one prominent figure, with the moniker of the last king, Dinah by name, who had followed that fleeing diaspora. A very desperate alliance, to speak the truth. In no other situation would that vile king interact with an outsider, let alone send aid for his kin. When the first Elysian stepped into his periphery, the nightmare was unleashed. The Reach had turned into some damned oblivionscape that would send any timid soul running to the other end of Tamriel. And so did many of the Elysians, though the accounts made exceptions for the Nords among them, who even in the face of ultimate terror had traversed the Dark Realm right to the doorstep of that king's squalid hovel, losing many through hideous traps, terrific rituals, and the sadistic Ayleid subordinates who relished in those spiteful skirmishes. That's what the tomes show, though such a being that was surely the product of Daedric consort could have just faded into the arms of whatever prince he knelt to. When they did breach the inner sanctum, scholars had talked of the interior being a patchwork of human bodies, stitched together from one end of the giant hall to the other. The king and his debauched Ayleid underlings were seemingly unfazed about the assailants at the gate, still immersed in their profaned work. This allowed those forlorn Nords to approach. Upon realizing that his artistry was meddled with, he recoiled and flayed those unfortunate souls who made their advance, almost in an instant. Then came the cacophony of screams, killing those further back immediately after. When it proved futile that mere men went up to the task, Alesia had called upon a friend. All evidence and descriptions of this person pointed to one candidate, Polinial. Not often do the clouds part, and we have a simple tale which can be spun to the young. If you're looking for such stories, then Evermore and those lands further west will be your calling. Though looking at you, such light-hearted tales would quickly grow to bore. Glad to see you're still willing to help, and there's always much to do around here. Though if you're looking for a journey like the one you've just returned from, then I'll have to disappoint. I won't have you cleaning this hall, so worry not. I have a more pressing need for a newcomer like yourself. Our Lord, Mortafane, has been scheduled to meet with an advisor from the Divide. Morosa dares not attend herself, lest our Lord brings out her worst. So this small conference will be our opportunity to mount pressure on Mortafane, such that he will forego his tyranny for a moment, bringing even further opportunity for reform. You're becoming a great friend to the people here, and I've come to trust you myself. A final word of advice. Should Mortafane become enraged, don't interrupt him. In fact, I advise remaining quiet entirely. I only need your presence. I'll meet you there.
was it, advisor? The hag couldn't speak to me herself.
Morosa has become increasingly distressed following the rumors and supposed activity within this town, and has talked with the royalty of Evermore to discuss the claim of this fiefdom and your position in it. If you do not cease with the disruption of trade, your privileges will be relinquished.
Enough! You barked well past your merit. Tell that dog-faced shriveled old bitch that if she meddles any further with this town...
Please, Mortiphane, consider what you're saying.
Did I grant you the luxury to interrupt? Address me with my name again, and your neck will be kissing the axe.
Yes, I am sorry, my lord.
Then you, advisor, relay the message to that crone that if she dares poke her nose within Arnhem again, her bridge will fall into the current below.
Understood. I will pardon your words so she can hear them.
Come for aid? Exactly what I expected. An attempt to squeeze blood from stone. Mortiphane, in all his wisdom, has deemed it fit to sever ties with our neighbours. Now we wait for Morosa's response. And be assured it will not be pretty. All these years, and our Lord has become even more bitter. You'll never forget what happened all those years ago. Was it her death? Or is it the state of this town? Both? Quiet! Have the sense not to call for such sabotage while we're watched. Though your proposition brings another idea. Rumors have stirred about an important individual, a descendant of Mados, and from what we know, he resides not too far from the kingdom's capital. The hamlet nestled to the west of us, called Tabandra. Image, my friend. The armor we've maintained from Mados' fatal excursion still shows its majestic craft after all these years. Evermore is a very welcome change of tone from the dreary scenery here. It's been a long while since I've made the journey there myself. I hope you don't get too comfortable upon those lush knolls, though. We're pressed with an urgent concern. A gathering of witchmen to the north are engaged in some communion. Nothing before has been quite like it. And if whatever they conjure up comes marching down the valley, then we'll need all our allies.
What's that? Reared your ugly head at last. I'll drink from your stump. too easy for...
Don't do that.
Who's there?
You're ugly-headed lads.
Hey, Dimmy, I'm right here.
Your entrails. Brother down. That bastard already. Gonna make mincemeat out of you. I'll tear you to pieces. Wasting such a good piece of ass.
Let's see how you like this.